Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Hello, good afternoon. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our very first episode of Shaking It Up. It's a podcast dedicated to helping people with Parkinson's feel empowered, informed, and inspired to move well and live well. I'm Maria Lewis. I'm a physiotherapist and I'm also co-founder of Reach Your Peak, which is an online exercise community for people with Parkinson's in the UK. And I'm joined by my fellow presenter.
Hello, I'm Vicky Rees-Davis, aka the Fitness Mum, and I provide online and in-person training sessions for those with Parkinson's disease. So welcome. We're so excited to have you all here today. Because we want to, this podcast is all about exercise mindset and simple daily choices, really, that can make living with Parkinson's disease a real difference. So we're going to share tips and tricks, and it's really going to be a positive, uplifting podcast.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Vicky,
Yes.
why we had the idea of doing this in the first place.
Yeah, it was that moment, wasn't it?
Of
Well,
madness.
I know. I think when we both were sort of chatting about everything, obviously you've got lots of clients with Parkinson's, as have I, but I've also, got Parkinson's, and I think when you get that initial Parkinson's diagnosis, it can send you into a bit of a spiral of confusion and despair and depression and not really knowing where to turn to. And having been diagnosed myself 4 years ago at the age of 46, I found a lot of the information out there to be really turning to the negative and what lies ahead, the stage 1, stage 2, etc., etc. So the future possibly wasn't looking that bright, but actually I think that you and I both know that you can live a really, really happy and fulfilled life with Parkinson's disease. And the brilliant thing about it, which I didn't know at the time, was how wonderful and how important exercise can be, and what an impact it can have on the disease is so powerful. But often people just don't know where to start.
Yeah, exactly. And Reach Your Peak, at Reach Your Peak, we totally understand that, and we've always believed that exercise is medicine as far as your Parkinson's is concerned. It's so essential. It's something that every single person, from diagnosis can do to help themselves and really take control of this condition. But too often or not, people are just left unsure of where to start. I mean, some people out there may have not even exercised for years, and
Yeah.
the last experience they had at exercise may even be some horrendous gym lesson at school. So
Yeah.
it's really, really daunting. So this podcast, I think, is our way of helping people to understand what they can do to live well with Parkinson's and what they have to do. And our passion is exercise and activity. But we will also address other factors, I think, because we both recognize from our experience that, it's often the non-motor symptoms of Parkinson's, the apathy, the fatigue, the constipation, the just low mood. These are problems that really, really do impact on people's lives and people's ability to exercise. So we're going to address some of those. We're going to touch on medication in some of our episodes. We're going to look at, as I said, all of those non-motor symptoms. We're going to touch on hot topics like diet and sleep and how that all impacts on your Parkinson's and on your symptoms. But we want to give people facts, don't we? We want to give them some real practical tips that they can apply straight away and get on and get doing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And for those of you out there who may not know us and maybe, tuning in and seeing us for the first time, it might be a good idea just to give you some background information about each of us. So Maria, can you tell us a bit about yourself and Reach Your Peak?
Yes, of course. So I am a physiotherapist by background, and I'm co-founder of Reach Your Peak. I've been working with people with Parkinson's, totally just with people with Parkinson's, for over the last 10 years. I've been a physio for nearly 30 years. That's just between me and you and whoever's listening. But yeah, so, and at Reach Your Peak, we design exercise videos and programs for people to help them live their strongest and their healthiest lives. But it's more than just online exercise. When Sally and I started Reach Your Peak, we recognized that people needed to be educated. They needed support. They needed advice. We needed to give people the tools that they need to use exercise effectively to actually treat their Parkinson's. And as I said, over the years, I've worked with so many individuals with Parkinson's, and I've seen how exercise can improve daily function and boost people's overall well-being, and even slow progression. Reach Your Peak was started because we met somebody who came to us asking for advice over 8 years ago now, about their Parkinson's. So they suspected they had Parkinson's, and we recognized that she did. We sent her off to a specialist who just told her to go away and come back when things got worse. Luckily, she came back to us, started exercising with us, and I'm pleased to say she's still exercising with us today, and she uses exercise really effectively to manage her symptoms on a day-to-day basis. And I think that's both of us, that's what we want for everybody.
Yeah, and it's that holding hand, a bit of support, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. So I am Vicky, aka the Fitness Mum, and prior to being diagnosed with Parkinson's myself, I had some understanding of the disease because my mother and grandmother were living with it. But I was also working as a personal trainer and fitness instructor at the time. So when I was diagnosed, I was delighted in that I was doing a job that I knew would be beneficial for my disease. So I was determined to also put that to good practice. And I was delighted, obviously, to hear how good exercise would be for Parkinson's and for those living with it. And I now have many Parkinson's clients who I can relate to, and vice versa, because obviously we're both living with the disease. So it was really to try and spin more of a positive. Well, I think that's what we're both trying to do, more of a positive on Parkinson's.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and we've got so much planned.
We have
for you all for the future episodes. We'll be covering specialist exercise advice, plus some nutritional tips from, not from us personally, but from experts out there in that field. Some mental well-being, managing those non-motor symptoms of Parkinson's that we've talked about, that fatigue, I said, the apathy, the constipation, and often, and all of that. So really, really excited about what we've got lined up.
And we've got some amazing guests. So our first one is this Friday. Get a date in your diary, 11:30. So we're going to have a whole host of guests over the coming months, including healthcare professionals, Parkinson's advocates, people who are living proof of how exercise can transform day-to-day life. So our first guest this Friday is none other, and some of you may already know him, is Gary Shaughnessy, chair of Z Zurich Foundation, Parkinson's UK and England Athletics. And he's a really, really keen advocate for Parkinson's and a person living with Parkinson's. And I hope that we'll also be able to, bust some myths, share some tools, and give you practical tips to take away that you can use right away.
Yeah, definitely. So if you're living with Parkinson's, or you're supporting a loved one with Parkinson's, or you're just simply curious about learning more about this condition, then you need to hit the subscribe button.
It could be there, it could be there.
Who knows? And make sure that you don't miss one of our episodes. Yeah.
And feel free to reach out. Would love to know, if you've got any topics that you'd like us to bring to you and discuss, then that'd be great to hear from you. So in order to do that, I think we ought to possibly let you know where you can contact us. So Maria, in terms of your social media sites, obviously you've got your website. Can you just tell the viewers your address and how they can contact you, etc.?
Yes, certainly. So if you want to
Grab a pen
learn,
and paper.
yeah, grab a pen and paper. So if you want to learn a bit more about Reach Your Peak and what we are, you can find us on our website, which is reachyourpeakonline.com. But we will be broadcasting our podcast live every first Friday of the month on our YouTube channel, which is Reach Your Peak Online Exercise for Parkinson's. So go along to that YouTube channel if you want to hear us. Instagram, we're on Instagram at parkinsons.exercise.expert, and we're also on Facebook at Reach Your Peak with Parkinson's.
Fantastic. I hope everyone got that. So they're all of Maria's and Reach Your Peak social media contact details. And for me, the best way really at the moment is on Instagram, which is at _fitness_mum, at _fitness_mum. My YouTube channel is at the Fitness Mum. I will put the recording of this onto there, but it's the Reach Your Peak YouTube channel that this will be live on. And Facebook, it's Vicky Rees Davis, REES-DAVIES, and website is in the making. We're having a little zhuzh up, so it'll be coming soon.
Yeah, lovely. Great. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today on our introductory session.
Yeah, so the next time we see you, we'll be diving into why running is a great pastime for your Parkinson's, which is quite apt given that we've just had the London Marathon. So we'll have our special guest, Gary Shaughnessy, sharing simple tips and practical tips as well that you can take away with you. So we look forward to seeing you then.
Lovely. See you Friday.
See you Friday. Have a good week. Bye.